Dr. Subramanian Swamy with us. Dr. Swamy, 15-day window which the BJP had sought has been closed. Only 24 hours given. Your thoughts?
Well, the Supreme Court has spoken, so we have to obey it. Whether the Supreme Court has enlarged its authority, that is something for us to debate later. But I do think that I was a little surprised that since we are really defending the governor's action, the Attorney General should have been the person who should have spoken. Where did this Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, who has lost every case of ours, whether it was in Chhattisgarh or whether it was in, whether it was Uttarakhand or whether it was in Arunachal, how did he turn up and on whose behalf? Because this is really basically governor's decision which has to be defended by the government, which means the Attorney General or one of the Solicitor Generals. So I think the argument should have been from point one that we asked for only 7 days, and the governor in his satisfaction felt that you need 15. So it is the governor. The constitution is very clear. Now the Supreme Court has sort of eroded that power under Articles 164. Whether that's a sustainable erosion or not, that's for future to say. But as of now, we have to obey it.
Yes, Dr. Swamy, two things to the judgment there. One, the Supreme Court never disagreed with the governor's decision to call B.S. Yediyurappa. Second is this 15-day window that BJP had got has been reduced to 24 hours. Isn't that bad news for the BJP? They would have time perhaps to cobble up the majority now.
No, it's not only question of our own MLAs. You see, they are in different places. I know at least one MLA who's in Delhi. So they all have to now scamper back. They'll have to get the reservations, so on. It's okay. I think the Supreme Court, if it had said Yediyurappa was asked for 7, we'll give him 5. That sort of thing would have been more reasonable. But I think they must have been put off by certain background information and the presentation of Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, and therefore they have laid down the law in this strict way.
Well, not as a senior lawyer, but as a BJP MP, I'm asking you, sir, is this bad news for BJP? Because realistically, perhaps it may not be possible to get from that number of 104 to 111 or 112 in about 24 hours, sir.
Well, I am not in the inner loop, so I don't know how many we have got so far, but I am very well connected with Bangalore. My parents live there, my sister still lives there, so I have strong connections with a lot of people there. And I would say we have already got 5, so we need only 3 more.
Now, we are given to understand that the floor test method will be decided by the pro tem speaker. The Supreme Court has said hold the floor test tomorrow at 4 p.m. So how is this issue going to really be looked at?
No. First, the House will assemble, and then the senior-most member of the House, in terms of the number of times he has been to the Vidhan Sabha elected, he will be automatically the pro tem speaker, and then he would then convene the House. The House will not meet till the pro tem speaker is named, and that could be named today itself by the governor. So that's not a very big formality. The real question is how many will be making it back by 4 o'clock to be present for the floor test.
Yes, Dr. Swamy, Swati, please hold on.
Yes.
We have some important news coming in from the Supreme Court. Point number 1 is the floor test is going to be at 4 p.m. Point number 2 is pro tem speaker will choose a mode of floor test. Turns down the AG's request for a secret ballot. B.S. Yediyurappa will not take any major policy calls. Well, that's a major decision. The Supreme Court has agreed to Abhishek Mani Singhvi's plea that B.S. Yediyurappa should not be allowed to take any policy calls and has asked the DGP to ensure safety. Well, essentially, the Supreme Court has overridden the Chief Minister's authority and asked the DGP to ensure the safety of everyone who's there and present and voting. I'm joined by Anisha Mathur on phone. Anisha, can you just tell me something more about this decision by the court not to allow B.S. Yediyurappa to take any major policy initiatives? Anisha.